It's Foreigner Affair. And our hosts, Leo and Macy.
So, welcome everyone. Welcome back to Foreigner Affair episode 3. I'm your host, Leo.
And I'm your co-host, Macy. We're going to start it off with the weather as always. For today in Tuscany, Italy, it's 47 degrees. It's starting to warm up a little bit. As for Erskine, it's getting a little chilly. We're at negative 2 degrees. I saw some ice on the road this morning, so everyone stay safe. We have a special guest with us today, Phil Lee. It's great to have you here today.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's going to be tough to follow up from Brady Langmo. So.
Yeah.
Okay, if you want to start to introduce yourself, what do you do?
Sure.
Tell us something.
Yeah, so I grew up probably about 3 miles from Mr. Langmo, actually, as the crow flies. And so I grew up here or in McIntosh, went to Winnie Mac School, graduated in 2005, and now I currently work at the bank at First National Bank in McIntosh. So how I got there is kind of a little bit of, it wasn't planned, I guess, necessarily. And I know that was something you guys like to talk about is how we got here, how we came back, etc. And so, yeah, I'm open to whatever questions you may have on that.
Okay, so you stayed here or you studied somewhere else?
Yeah, I studied at the University of North Dakota. To be completely honest, I probably didn't know what I wanted to do when I got there, but I knew my wife, girlfriend at the time, was going there. So I guess that's where I was going to go. And I was involved in choral activities with UND. And so that was just kind of a natural flow. It was still only an hour from town or from home. So I could go there, come back on the weekends if I wanted to. I had a very positive experience here at Winnie Mac. So I didn't have the need to go to California or anything like that. I liked where I was from. So I went to UND, and in probably sophomore year, at that point I thought I wanted to be an investment guy, somebody that's got the fancy Rolex downtown Minneapolis.
Yeah.
Maybe had some misconceived notions that once you became an investment guy, everybody wanted to talk to you and invest their money and all that good stuff. So that's the original plan, was to do business, I guess, and then branch out from there. But yeah, it's worked out.
And I'm really curious about what's your role in the bank? What do you have to do?
Yeah, so my title is Executive Vice President, but we wear a lot of hats, especially in a small institution. So my primary duty is lending, agricultural, commercial, home financing, personal loans, buying a car, all that good stuff. And there's probably a majority of it is that. Another big piece that people don't see is the compliance aspect. We have to follow a lot of rules that the government puts in place for the banking system. So we do a lot of different hats in a small town business like that. So, yeah.
And coming back to the school, how many years ago did you graduate?
I graduated in 2005. I graduated from college in 2010 with a double major. And so, coming back to school is interesting. I a lot of turnover, actually, since I've been here. When I was in school, especially in elementary, a lot of those teachers were probably at that time in their 50s. So by the time I graduated, many of them were starting to retire. People that were legends in our mind, Marilyn Malmunger, Doug Johnson was here at that time, and John Ekman, Bob Nephew. So a lot of people that aren't here anymore that have retired were still teaching at that time. So it's a little different. Kevin, your principal was here Christy was here, Ann was here. So a lot of those people that you see every day were here, I guess. So, but it's different.
How about for sports? Were you in any sports in high school?
Yeah, so we had a very good baseball program at the time. I was fortunate to be on, two baseball teams that went to state my freshman and sophomore year. My junior year, I believe we were the number one ranked team in the state and lost in the section semifinal. And then senior year, we lost in the section championship game. So the 2 years we went to state, I had really just a bench role, but it was still an awesome experience. Played football as well. I was a captain with Mr. Cook, who's the football coach now. So graduated with him, actually was a college roommate of his the first year in the dorms. So there's a lot of ties there. But yeah, along with sports, was involved in things like this, whether it be, we didn't have anything like this, but we had one act play, all school play, yearbook. I mean, you name it, I probably did something with it. So yeah. So yeah. So how did you guys get involved in this kind of stuff? Was it just for a class, or do you have an interest in it?
Was kind of idea from Mr. Lenko.
Okay.
So he shared this idea with us, and we said, "Yeah, why not?"
Yeah. So it's not a class required. It's just
it's something that we like to do and we want to do.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's actually, he's in this class, it's a multimedia class, and I have a study hall this down. Just asked me if I want to do it. I'm like, sure, why not?
Awesome. Yeah. Study halls were the best. I never got any because I was involved in, ours were always in band and choir. So if you weren't in band or choir, then you got rewarded in study hall, which was always just like come on. Yeah. Senior year, Mrs. Strum wanted me to be in pre-calculus with them. And I said I could be in pre-calculus, or I could grade papers for like the 7th grade science class instead and have basically like free time. So senioritis rolls in.
Yep.
And you say, I'm not going to take pre-calc when I can go have fun grading papers. So, yeah, so study hall would have been much more fun in that scenario.
Yeah, exactly.
So like when you was at school, you didn't have any idea of the work that you...
Not really. It's so hard to think back to that time and think much past. Like I said, I enjoyed school, so I wasn't really in any rush to leave necessarily. I was having a good time playing baseball and football and hanging out with friends. So, yeah, I don't think it's really hard to know. I'm trying to think back of when I was in high school, what I thought I would do. You watch like crime shows on TV. That seemed kind of cool. An anthropologist, but that's but I mean, I didn't really like science that much, so that doesn't make any sense. So yeah, thinking back, I'm not sure that I really had a lot of concrete dreams, I guess, at that point. Some people say, oh, I knew what I wanted to do since I was 5. That just wasn't, I guess, in my wheelhouse at that time. So.
But like some subject here at school, maybe not at UMEC, also at the university, what are the subjects that help you to arrive where you are now?
Yeah, actually, to be completely honest, I bet I didn't even put 2 and 2 together, but money and banking was one of the things that I was most interested in. But I didn't really put that into practice, I guess. But I should have probably thought, well, since I'm really into that, maybe that's a way I wanted to go. Another class that was really interesting was macroeconomics. So it looks at the economy as a whole, not on a personal level, but as maybe a national level. That was something that was always kind of interesting to me. So those should have been the things, the clues that I would arrive at a specific path, but honestly kind of fell into it. My wife is an occupational therapist and had a job offer before she graduated college. And so I said, let's go there and I will find something to do. So that's the way that we ended up going is she had a job lined up, and I just said I'll figure it out. So we moved to a town of 4,300 people, Sauk Center, Minnesota. It's kind of close to Alexandria, and so I had a hard time finding work. I remember talking to my mom on the phone and saying I should have went to school for 3 to 5 years experience instead of investments, because everyone wants 3 to 5 years experience. It's hard to get a new grad position. So I took a part-time gig with a credit union down there, and within 6 months it was full-time. Within another 6 months I was personal banking, and then within maybe another 6 months I was in lending. So progressed pretty quickly, but that's kind of how I fell into it. But probably had some keys along the way.
So I would like you to say something about the thing. Like you said that you would have made maybe 3 to 5 years of university.
Yeah, well, 3 to 5 years experience. So when I say that, when you are out there job hunting, most of those people that are looking for candidates, they want 3 to 5 years work experience. Well, how can you get the 3 to 5 years work experience if you haven't had a job yet? So that was the challenge. It wasn't so much the 3 to 5 years of college experience. I had that because I had a 4-year degree and took 5 years to double major. But it was that 3 to 5 years of work experience. I mean, I couldn't even get a job at a lumber yard because they were like, well, you have a college degree, you're going to leave once you find a job in your field. I said, yeah, I am. I mean, if I'm being completely honest, I am going to. Like, well, we can't really hire you. We're looking for somebody long term. So it was a tough little spot in there. So all you guys that are graduating and you're going to go to college and you're going to do all this stuff, that's awesome. But it may not be rosy right away when you get out of college. It might not be. So, sure.
Okay, so I want to say thank you again.
Yeah.
I think for today it's good.
Yes.
So thank you, everyone. Remember to follow us in our Instagram page. Thank you again to Phil to came in and talk with us, and see you in the next episode.
It's Foreigner Affair.